Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Yvonne with the Be the CEO of Your Life live show. And in this show, we bring to you very special guests that show you how they made a difference, how they made an impact in their clients' lives. Because I know all my clients and my community is always looking for shortcuts, for quicker ways to work smarter, earn more, and to live better. And today we have a very special guest. Ben is here with me. Ben, please introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you so much for having me today, Ivana. You know how much I adore you and the work that you do. You add so much value literally around the world. So thank you. I appreciate being a part of it. My name is Ben Zeitlin. I'm the executive producer of My Story Video. We actually produce affordable personal branding interview videos for business professionals of all kinds to help them break through the sales clutter and improve their bottom line. So although I grew up in broadcasting and used to put a lot of celebrities on television newscasts and things like that, I've actually changed my business model because I interview people on Zoom. It's literally a fraction of the cost of what it would be otherwise. And we still have great ways to make it look really professional. So that's part of what we do.
Right. So breaking through the sales clutter, that's something that speaks to me, that speaks to a lot of people these days on LinkedIn. You cannot open your inbox with another, do you want to increase your YouTube or whatever, right? There's a lot going on. So talk to me about something that you did to a client that actually helped them to break through the sales clutter. How did you do it? What happened?
I appreciate the question. Thank you. Let's get a little bit of context before I jump right into a story. And that is this. This just in, we live in a video-centric world. So if people are not using video in their business, and I mean using video strategically, they are probably leaving money on the table somewhere along the way. And so what you want to do is get people to know you, like you, and maybe even trust you a little bit before they've ever even met you. And people don't want to read about you anymore, but they'll watch that brief video every time. So what we do is help clients take advantage of that sort of thing. So one story comes to mind. Not all that long ago, I was in a business meeting with a few different people in the room. One of them happened to be a high-end attorney. And somebody else in the room found out what that attorney did specifically and said, "Oh my gosh, I need you to meet somebody. I know they're looking for somebody like you. I know they've been talking to all sorts of different attorneys. But I'm going to send them a text right now." And the attorney looked at me, knowing that we had produced what we call a video business card for that attorney, a very brief video about, who they are, what they do, how they add value. And he forwarded his video business card to this person who then texted it to the person they were trying to let know. And while we continued our meeting and we were talking about different things, and within about 5 or 6 minutes, that person got a text back and said, "Oh my gosh, I just watched that video. I need to meet that person right away. Please forward all the information." The outcome was within a day or so, they struck a deal and there was new business. And now, I like to think it's just because of the video. Perhaps it was. We like to think it helped them break through the sales clutter. Obviously, there was a referral there, and that always helps. I know that's a big part of what you do for people, Ivana. But I also think that having that video, I used to work in broadcasting for 20 years in New York City, and I had a great VP of sales who would say, "Don't tell them anything till you can tell them everything. Just sell the meeting." And in today's times, it's hard to get anybody's attention. But if you have that brief video, people connect to you emotionally, right? Sight, sound, motion, and emotion. Video is the only medium that gives that to you. So this person emotively saw or found some emotion in this video and went, "Oh my God, I don't even know what that attorney just said, but I know I need to talk with them." That's where I think the video helps people sell the meeting. And in this case, the outcome was literally a direct deal. So that's one story that comes to mind.
I love that. And I'm actually thinking, because I have a video business card as well, and I will share it with people. And I use it in my signature underneath my email. And the funny thing is, I had a new client that engaged with me for a very brief stint. And she watched the video business card and she came back to me and she said, "I want to talk about that." So I'm actually totally relating to what you say. But I also know that certain people go like, oh my God, I hate video. You know, I don't like my voice. I don't like how I look. I don't know what to do. So although it may help them break through the sales clutter, they may not like a video. So can you share some examples of people that were fearful to go on video and how you ease them into it, or what tips you have for them?
I'm so glad you asked this, Ivana. You know, this comes up with at least 50% of the people who I record videos with, whether it's video business cards or the thought leadership videos that we produce for them. And really, maybe this is just the design in which the way we do it. But because I interview people on Zoom, I always remind them right from the start, listen, you know about your business and nobody knows about your business better than you do. So at the end of the day, let's have a conversation, not unlike the one we're having right now. And Ivana, you went through the process with me when we produced your video business card. So I don't want anyone to be scripted. And when I tell people that, you see the shoulders come down and the body language, like already they're a little bit more relaxed. And I say, listen, I'm going to ask you some questions as if we had just met at a networking event or a meeting or a cocktail hour. And tell me about your business, you know, who you are, what you do, how you add value. Ultimately, what we tell people is it's your authenticity that's going to make videos work these days. So if you're too scripted and you're thinking too much about what you're going to say, it's not going to work. That's where people like me come in to help edit out all the stuff that doesn't work in the video. And we only keep in the best stuff. I tell people they can sneeze, they can burp, they can say, Ben, I don't like the way I say that. I want to say, no problem. The magic happens in the editing. So it's the authenticity, letting people and suddenly most of the people go, oh, that really wasn't that bad. I'm just talking about my business. Exactly. And I think that's the answer is authenticity is the key. Tone it down a notch. You don't have to worry about it. And we use visuals to help tell the story as well. So I think that's a big piece.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember when I started my business ages ago, I had a coach who told me, if you're not on video, your business is dead. Well, that's a very strong statement. And I remember that somehow kind of really sank in. So from the get-go, I started doing videos. And the first time I watched one back, I was like, I need anti-wrinkle cream right now because I really despised how I looked like. But over time, I've come to realize that if people don't like me on video, they don't like my wrinkles or my voice or how I express myself, guess what? It's never going to work because this is me. I'm not some kind of, don't use filters. Someone said the other day, let's use a filter. And then they said, let's not, because if they see me in real life, they're going to, be scared to death. But I think if people don't like you on video, they will not want to work with you. That's okay. Then you already have done the shift. And if they like you on video, they will like you in real life as well. So I really think it's a win-win. Tell me what's critical in a video and why is it so important?
Again, video is the only medium that gives you sight, sound, motion, and emotion.
Right.
And also, they say a picture can tell a story with tell 1,000 words. And obviously video can do so much more and ultimately create that emotion. People connect to people on videos. Like we said, they don't even know what you said, but they connect to you emotionally. They'll take the meeting, they'll read the email, they'll call you back, whatever that might be. And they may even be entertained. I think that keeping a video compelling is the most important thing. Normally, you're trying to get somebody to watch the first 10 seconds so that they'll watch the next 10 and the next 10.
Yes.
So if you can add other visuals other than just like the two of us right now, it's just you and me talking, and that's fine. And hopefully people aren't too bored by this. But the truth is if we were producing video, we'd swoop in other visuals, whether it's licensed stock video footage or visuals from your website or your social pages, things like that. So even though your voice keeps going, also music is the universal language. There are times where music is not appropriate, but if you can lay a music bed in, that helps set a mood. It can be fast paced. It'll keep the viewer upbeat and sort of compelled. Little things like that can add putting in graphics. Right now on the bottom of our screens, it says your name and my name. We can do that. And we can put in other visuals, graphics with words that help tell stories as well. I want to say, I think the most important thing, Ivana, and this goes back to a little bit about what we were saying with authenticity. And, if you ask me what's the most important thing when you're doing sort of personal branding videos like this, is that the videos are about you, except for one thing. The videos are not about you at all. They're actually about the people who are viewing the videos. Just like if you're in sales, and this again helps you break through the sales clutter, as we were talking about, if you're talking at people, they're probably turned off. Aren't we turned off when people are talking at us? But if you're enrolling in some way, shape, or form, telling, not selling, educating, making it about them, the old WIFM, right? What's in it for me? Everybody knows that.
Yes.
Well, if you're using WIFM as your come from in sharing what you're sharing, and not, if you find yourself saying I this and I that and we a little too much, it's probably not going to be a great video. So it's important that we remember that when we're producing personal branding videos. It's like it's personal, but it's actually more personal for the viewer. That's something that I think is really important for people to know, whether they're working with me or they're doing it on their own. And by the way, people can do this on their own all the time. You've worked with me and you produce videos yourself all the time, which is wonderful. Obviously, you want to know those little things, not just, hey, my head's down here, I got to get it up here. Of course, that's important to know, but it's this other stuff that helps you break through the sales clutter, being enrolling, sharing the visuals, and connecting with people emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember that's one of the things we went over, like how much white space, and I had a plant and the plant wasn't right, and we had to kind of, so I remember that. And one of the things I was thinking about, because you spoke about emotion in videos and how important it is, and that people actually feel it, they feel the energy, they feel, oh, I like this or I don't. And sometimes it's even that unwritten that makes people drawn to you. So if we talk about breaking through the sales clutter, if people don't know you, they very often go back to referrals and written referrals. LinkedIn is a great platform because it showcases all referrals. But in my experience, a video referral is even better. It's because they see it's a real person. They hear how loving that person talks about you or not, and they can see how genuine it is. You do referral videos as well, is that right?
Yeah, we call them client testimonial videos. We have not reinvented the wheel with this. But yeah, the idea is you go to people's websites and it'll say, John K. from Illinois thinks that Ivana is just amazing. And she's got the best pair of glasses and a nice virtual background, and you should work with Ivana. Signed, John R. from Illinois. And, everybody's wondering like, oh, that's really nice. Did Ivana just write that in the middle of the night and stick it up on her website? But if you have that person on video and placed on your website or any of your other social platforms, huge emotional connection. Now you've got third-party validation from somebody who's qualified, who's speaking highly about you, who's not you speaking highly about you, in a short bite-sized video. There's probably nothing better in the world of marketing in today's times. So yeah, absolutely. And we've been doing a lot of these for people. We have some folks that actually have said, oh, that first one was great. I've got 10 other clients. Can you record with them as well? And now they have YouTube channels and different, where they've got multiple client testimonial videos. And what's really nice for them, talk about breaking through the sales clutter, is when one client I'm thinking of will if he's speaking to a client in a certain kind of industry, because he's got 10 different client testimonial videos, he can draw from some that will be most relevant to the person in that industry, that potential prospect in that industry. And if he's speaking with somebody else in a completely different industry, he may have some other testimonials that are more relevant to that person. And so he's building himself almost like a, break through the sales clutter arsenal of video. And at the end of the day, when I was in broadcasting for 20 years, I used to counsel Fortune 1000 CEOs on strategic communications. And now we just do the same thing for individuals that are in business. And so that's an example of being very strategic with your video, whether you're doing it yourself or not.
I
You've
hear
got
you.
to be strategic.
Yeah, I love that. And Ben, can you share something where it went wrong? Where like, or like what we need to know, because we always talk about how it went well. I know I've made some huge mistakes. I'll share them later. But is there something that you go like, oh, whatever you do, please don't do that? You know?
We try to fix what could be wrong visually.
No, but give us some like snoops about, oh my God, that
I'm actually working on something right this moment.
bright.
I got a call this week where, like you right now, you on your screen have your Amaze Yourself logo
Yes.
as part of your background,
Yes.
which, by the way, I think looks fantastic. And I love, from a video standpoint, everything you've got going on looks perfect. So whoever's watching this, copy Yvonne. That said, so this person also had his logo behind him.
Yes.
And this week, it looks like he's about to change companies. But
Right.
he just invested in, literally, we just produced 10 what we call thought leadership videos
Yes.
that he's already begun to put out on LinkedIn and all this, and it's wonderful. Except now he's got his big logo of the company that he's no longer going to be with. And so he said, oh my God, we just invested in this and we put all this time in, and I love the videos. What are we going to do? And the short answer is, in this case, I've got a way where I can help him fix it.
Yeah.
It's going to take more budget.
Of course.
And I'm not going to hit him over the head for it, but at the end of the day, it's going to be more. So there's an example where maybe you don't want to have your logo in your virtual background, but rather have, whether it's me or yourself or some other video producer, put it up graphically in the edit, but don't make it part of the recording. I don't think I clarified that from the start. So in other words, right now, if we're recording this, it's now in there.
Yes.
So it's not as easy to just, but it would be less money to fix if I just needed to go back in and retype the words.
Right.
But if it's recorded that way, and we didn't record with a green Ultimat, or as they say, like with a weatherman has,
Yeah.
then it's more costly. So there's an example of something that could go wrong. Obviously, because we're always recording and we're not live like you and I are right now,
Yeah.
you always have the opportunity to fix things before the budget goes too far. But this was a case where little funny, little strange. So that's
yeah. And it's also fascinating because we're all proud of our logo, right? And we all want to showcase it. But I understand it's even if you change your logo, but then you're also kind of awesome if you're already in the stage of changing your logo, right? Like a true dinosaur brand. But I hear you.
By the way, what's interesting is that the videos themselves, if we're able to just change this guy's background, the videos themselves, he doesn't mention the name of his company anywhere throughout the 10 videos because they were thought leadership videos. It said, these are tell me, don't sell me videos. He's just educating his people strategically. Obviously, people who watch these videos go, once again, it's like, oh, okay, he seems really, they connect the dots and go, this guy's an expert.
Yes.
I may want to speak with him about this. And he doesn't have to sell because that's what's happening. So once again, we didn't have to re-record because he's not verbally saying the name of his company. So it kind of works out in this case. So anyway, I don't want to beat it too hard, but
I love it. Yeah. So I'll share what I did wrong because I promised I would. When I already told you, when I started, I immediately started doing videos, but I spoke very slowly. So I thought I would articulate better when I spoke. So I don't actually know what I thought because it was a long time ago. And I didn't even recall it until I had a friend that said to me, oh my God, your videos are now, I can finally watch them. I could never watch them. They were so slow.
That is so funny.
Oh my word. But I think it's true. In the beginning, you want to do everything right, and the natural thing, the natural way you speak kind of gets lost because you're stiff and you're trying to do things. So I got the feedback that I was way too slow and it was basically unbearable to watch me. But I stuck with it, and I'm okay now. But
That is such great feedback, and I have two things to say about that. Number one, it goes back to the authenticity factor, because if you don't speak to people like this normally, you know that you're not authentic and you're not going to be received that way. And by the way,
yeah,
I also want to say kudos to you, because it's important, if you're producing videos on your own, you don't have somebody like me that consults with you and strategically helps you through it, you know, be open to feedback. And
yeah,
it's great to share it with somebody, maybe before you've even put it out there, but be open to the feedback, because that could really, people will see things that you may not see about yourself that ultimately will help you, whether it's breaking through the sales clutter or connecting to somebody on a more personal level or whatever that looks like with your videos. So good for you that you were so open to that. That's really smart, really good.
yeah. No, thank you. Ben, we're going to come to the end. Is there one final thing you want to share with the people that watch you, and then tell us where we can find you?
Thank you so much. I just think that people can do this on their own, and they should. And at the same time, as much as producing a decent video can really help you not leave money on the table, producing a not so good video that's not authentic or doesn't have some of the strategy behind it can actually really hurt you. So I do recommend, give it some thought. And if you don't know what you're doing, if anybody's watching this and you want to reach out to me, I don't have to charge you money to just tell you what I think. And, I'm happy to share any expertise that we have. Obviously, where I come in is for people who don't have the time, the know-how, the wherewithal, and they just say, my gosh, I need to focus on my business. Just help me do this. Great. That's where we come in. And so if that's the case, my website is mystoryvideo.net, N-E-T. That's probably the best place to go see some samples of what we do. And I'm just so grateful to you, Yvonne, for having worked with you in the past. Obviously, you have a sense of what that's like. I just adore everything that you do. People should be calling you all the time, and I don't know why. If they're not, because they should be. And you do great work with video. Everybody look at Yvonne's videos on LinkedIn, because you do great stuff. Really great.
Thank you so much, Ben. A pleasure to have you here.
Oh, likewise. Thank you.
If you are watching today, amazing. If you are looking to scale your business in fewer hours, if you want to work smart, earn more, and live better, please reach out, because I'm here to help. See you same time, same place.